Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Personne Extraordinaire. Through this interview series, I'm attempting to profile people who've made an extraordinary impact in their respective fields to engage and uplift others and help them be the best versions of themselves. I'm humbled and honored today to introduce to you Miss Mandeep Jhajj, an incredible individual who is doing some truly remarkable work in creating a whole new generation of changemakers from amongst Gen Z and Millennials. Mandeep founded TribesforGOOD, which is also known as TFG, in 2018. It is a new age social impact platform that helps Gen Z and millennials discover, learn, and contribute to social and environmental issues. Over the past 5 years, Mandeep has been able to expand TFG to 7 countries and built a sustainable business model. TFG has activated more than 1,750 changemakers. Mandeep has been a part of IIM Bangalore's Women's Startup Program and Rebalance Incubator. Mandeep has a master's degree in business management from Symbiosis International University, also known as SIIB, and a bachelor's degree in electronics and communication. Welcome, Mandeep, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Zahin. I'm really thrilled by your initiative and I am very happy to be here.
So, to start off this interview, I'd like to ask you a fun fact about yourself. This can be your favorite animal, food, hobby, or anything else.
Okay. All right. So I really like to go to the gym. And these days, I'm basically training for a marathon. For me, when I look at fitness, I don't really think of my goal as losing weight or having a specific weight. I wanted something which is a better goal for myself. So now I want to run for a marathon. I want to start with half marathon. Now the problem over here is that I hate waking up in the morning. And most marathons start at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m. So people have been asking me this that, okay, you're training for a marathon. So when are you running it? And I'm like, oh, I haven't really thought about it yet. So that's something like I find it very funny because I tell everyone that I am training for a marathon.
So, being a non-morning person myself, I hear you very loud and clear. But I do wish you all the very best for your upcoming half marathon.
Thank you so much. I'll let you know when I decide whether it's gonna be Jan or Feb.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it. So, it's really rare that career paths follow a straight line from where they started to where they are today. Would you care to share a little bit about who or what was your inspiration and some interesting experiences along the way that shaped you as a person?
Okay. I am with you totally on this when you think about whether, your career follows a straight line. I have never really followed that path. So to give you a background, I started my studies with engineering. Then I followed that with business administration. I did my MBA. However, I was really interested in starting my own business. And now I run Tribes for Good, which is a social enterprise focused on helping Gen Z, right? Even though I was studying engineering and masters in business administration, there is no link to social work. I didn't really go to TES. I didn't go for any masters in social work. But however, now I'm in this domain. So what I feel that stands out for anyone is one is it's really important for us to know ourselves. I think somewhere, everyone, or let's say parents try to encourage their kids to follow a specific path because it's a safer path. It's something which makes it easy for them to reach their goal. And you will see most people following that. However, it's really important for us to understand what is my inner calling, what is that I want to do, why am I here? And for me, one of the biggest things was that I wanted to really start my own business, right? And to start your own business, you need an idea that people want to buy those products and services. The second thing is you need funding. And the third thing, most important, is that you need to have discipline. When you're starting something out, you need to have the discipline to show up day in, day out, working, ideating, failing, but moving forward. And this is wherein I am very blessed. I have a very strong support of individuals in my life. One is my elder sister who has always been there. She's always encouraged me to do whatever I feel is right for me. And apart from that, I have my partner, I have my few friends who have been my constant support system.
Thank you so much, Mandeep, ma'am. You make a very strong case for listening to one's gut and following one's heart. And as always, hearing of other successes and how destiny plays a part in them makes one very hopeful and positive.
Yeah,
So,
like even for you, sorry to interrupt. Sorry, even for you, Zen, when I look at you, I find you extremely inspirational, right? I met you early this year, and I am really inspired by so many of your young students who come for our programs, and the way you're able to express yourself, the way you're able to stand up for the cause that you believe in, right? And you don't even shy away from even pointing it out to us adults, saying that okay, you're wrong. And I am really inspired by your generation and specifically you.
thank you so much. I do believe in using my voice to speak up for the things I stand in. So before I start my next question, I'd like to thank you for having gone through my audiobook, Extraordinaire, and I do hope you enjoyed it. In my eponymous poem, Extraordinaire, and several others, I've dwelt on how empathy and kindness are the superpowers the world needs most today. What do you feel about these virtues, empathy and kindness?
I think kindness in today's world is so crucial, right? And kindness is not really always towards someone else. Sometimes it has to be even towards yourself. Because I can tell you personally, I'm very hard on myself. Even when I do something, I'm always critical. I'm like, okay, you could have done this better, or etc. So there are not enough times when I'm like very kind to myself and say, okay, it's okay, you're human. You can make a mistake. It's completely okay. So I feel the first and the most important thing that we need to remember is, and specifically young students who are listening to your channel, is that firstly we need to be kind to ourselves. And in situations wherever possible, we need to be kind to the other person, and that's where empathy plays a really important part, because we need to understand what you are feeling when let's say you are sharing your experience, wherein I understand the emotion that Zehen is angry. So I need to go back to a time when I felt that emotion, when I was angry, so that I am able to understand your situation better. Right? So it's really important for this world, the current world that we are living in, empathy and kindness. And empathy is your superpower. So if you are an empathetic person, I think you have it.
So I completely agree with you there, Mandeepam, and I believe you really nailed it. And I personally very strongly believe that if we start educating children on the twin virtues of kindness and empathy, starting young, it'll come to them naturally. They won't have to learn it. And the most effective way to demonstrate these virtues is in action to children, so that they can breathe them in and act them out as a matter of habit. In a way, the work you do at Tribes for Good deeply embodies both of these aspects. You demonstrate kindness and support for the communities you work with, to and through youngsters, and through your programs, everyone involved learns through the collectively lived experiences. And I just like to salute you for all the work you've done. I feel it's really inspirational.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind, Zahan. And we can even look at the work that you and your group did, right? So when you're talking about cyberbullying, firstly, we need to understand why are we even talking about this, right? So I feel when we talk specifically about the topic of cyberbullying, we are also not looking at the person, and it can be you, it can be me, maybe we are the bullies. There can be situations, right? So it becomes really important through our work that we show these, bring out these conversation with the participants, right? So I think there's a lot more conversations that have to be done to bring out empathy and kindness.
Yeah. I personally think that ableism and social and structural issues like lack of accessibility continue to present barriers for people with disabilities across the world. Do you agree with this statement? And what, in your opinion, are the best ways to tackle them? And can you give some examples of the best practices that you've come across either personally or even professionally in your career?
So Zen, I can tell you from my own personal experience, when I was growing up, we were never taught how to deal with people who were different, right? So when you talk about ableism and the social and the structural issues, these are huge issues that are out there. My generation would talk about women empowerment, So you would never really, we were never taught how to include people, The concept of diversity inclusion has become a big thing now. Earlier, during the time I was growing up, nobody would talk about it. So I can give you an example of when you look at the cause of women empowerment, because I really believe in that cause, because that's my own story, right? Because as a female, I feel that females are not given the same opportunity as men. There are so many issues in India. So, but when you look at the cause of women empowerment and you are looking at talking to women, but till the time you don't involve the other genders in this conversation, how will you make it an inclusive society? How will you make them empathetic towards my cause, right? So I feel similarly, in this case, it is really important to talk to the stakeholders. Your stakeholders can be your schools, it can be your teachers, it can be able individuals to understand the issue at hand, right? We need to ask them that they need to see this world through the eyes of the person who doesn't have the same access, right? If you look at design thinking, the most important component that has been added over there is empathy, that you need to understand what the user is looking for, right? And I really believe when we're talking about diversity and inclusion, we need to bring in all the stakeholders to this conversation. Till the time we don't bring other stakeholders to this conversation, it's always going to be one-sided discussion, right? And in India, I haven't really seen much work happening over here, right? So I feel that we need to bring in changes at the policy level. There is so much that you can do at an individual level, at a community level, but till the time policies don't change, I am not really sure how are we going to overcome these barriers that are already there.
Yeah, that is so very well articulated, Mandeep, ma'am. And there are basically three things that come to my mind. Firstly, acknowledgement is actually the very first step in finding viable solutions. Secondly, you know the slogan of disability activism of the 1990s? Nothing about us without us. It is so true today, especially when diversity, equity, and even inclusion is moving so much beyond just being a catchphrase. And thirdly, including children young will ensure that our collectively lived experiences will result in solutions to social and structural issues that exist today fall in place organically. My final question for the day is um to ask you if you could just share some parting pearls of wisdom with our listeners on how we can make this world a kinder and more inclusive place to live in.
Okay, I feel one thing that we need to do is we need to be more open-minded, right? Because we are not really accepting what's happening out there. We are not really accepting other viewpoints. We are following things that are being told to us. So I feel it's really important for us to ask, and specifically for young kids, I'm talking to your generation. I want you to ask us, all adults, why? whenever they make a blanket statement, they say, okay, this is how things happen, this is how my generation does it, or this is how things are, or this is what you need to follow, right? So you need to always ask yourself, is it actually true, or you want to do it because everyone is doing it, so should I follow everyone and do it, right? So it's really important for your generation to understand what is being told to you, and also use your brain, use your mind and ask, okay, is it true, or is it because everyone is doing it and nobody has really questioned it, right? One is that, one is the thought, your beliefs, your viewpoints about societal issues. That's what you need to question when we talk about casteism, when we talk about racism. Why are we like that? Why are we doing it? Why are we still fascinated by color, right? And the second thing is to be kinder, and specifically for all you young people, something as simple as smiling. Just smile. Smile at your school help. Smile at someone who's not from your socioeconomic strata. Just smile at the Uber guy, your driver. Say hello, acknowledge them. Look at them in their eye, right? Don't ignore people. And also, I feel thank you is so important. Being grateful, showing your gratitude when you have your clean classrooms, your washrooms, your food, everything that you're getting in school, right? And because when you look at all these societal issues, we sometimes forget that the other person is human. They want the same love as we do, right? So if we can we can just start seeing the other person as human and smile and just thank them, the world can become kinder. So that's my suggestion to all of Zehen's listeners. So be kind, smile, and say thank you.
Thank you so much, Mandeep, ma'am. This conversation has been so enlightening and uplifting in equal measures. And I definitely look forward to partnering with you and Tribes for Good to do my part in spreading the sunshine on such an important topic. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Zen, and congratulations. And I wish you all the best for the amazing work that you're doing. You are an inspiration to so many students out there.
Thank you.